When you're flying a holding pattern, your primary objective is to stay within the protected airspace. In some cases, it's also important to be able to leave the holding fix at a specified time. Now, in a no-wind condition, both of these are pretty darn easy. For example, the turns at each end of a holding pattern are 180 degrees. And in a holding pattern, as in the rest of your IFR flying, you make standard rate turns, which, as you remember, are 3 degrees of turn per second. So, at a standard rate, each turn of 180 degrees takes exactly 1 minute. And when you're holding below 14,000 feet, the legs should be exactly 1 minute long. So, in a no-wind condition, a complete pattern should take exactly 4 minutes. Knowing all this gives you the information you need to be able to leave the holding fix from here at a specific time. For example, if you're supposed to leave the holding fix at 1820 and the time now as you cross this holding fix is 1817, you've got 3 minutes to go. You would subtract 1817 from 1820 and that gives you 3 minutes. So how do you do that? Well, you'd shorten the outbound and inbound legs to 30 seconds each, keeping your 180-degree turns at 1 minute, and voila, you'd be back over the fix in 3 minutes, which is exactly enough time to boil an egg. So you'd probably agree that in a no-wind situation, holding is pretty simple. But how about when there is a wind? Well, let's take a look. We'll set up a holding pattern on the 090 radial of the Liberal Kansas VOR and put the wind from the west, making it a direct headwind on the inbound leg. In this case, if you fly exactly 1 minute on your outbound leg, your inbound leg will take longer than 1 minute on its return to the fix. And why is that? Well, you know. You have a tailwind on the outbound leg, which increases your ground speed, and a headwind on the inbound leg, which decreases your ground speed. So here's the key. It's the inbound leg that you want to be as close to 1 minute as possible. Now, in order to do that, you shorten or lengthen the time of the outbound leg as needed. It's kind of like a recipe. Now, if you don't have good wind information ahead of time, the first trip around the holding pattern, you will need to time the outbound